There is a specific type of investing opportunity that almost nobody talks about, and the reason nobody talks about it is not because it is bad. It is because it is boring. Not boring in the way that makes you lose money. Boring in the way that does not get clicks. Boring in the way that does not generate YouTube thumbnails with green arrows and $10,000 promises. Boring in the way that serious income investors quietly load up on, while everyone else is chasing whatever is trending this week. Today I am covering 3 REITs, real estate investment trusts, that have something unusual in common. Each one gets searched thousands of times every month by investors looking for real information. And yet when you go looking for modern, current, honest breakdowns of these companies, you come up almost empty. The guides that exist are years old, the analysis is outdated, the numbers have changed significantly, and the investors searching for answers are getting information that no longer reflects what these businesses actually look like today. That gap between high search volume and zero current content is where this video lives. And in some cases, that gap exists because these REITs are genuinely misunderstood, priced as if the worst-case scenario is locked in, when the actual business picture is meaningfully different from what the market is pricing. If you want honest current analysis on income investments that actually matter for building real passive income, hit subscribe. This is exactly the kind of content I build this channel around every single week. And before we get into the 3 names, quick question for the comments. When you research a REIT or any dividend stock, what is the single most important metric you look at first? The yield, the dividend safety, the valuation, or the balance sheet? Drop your answer below. I reply to every single comment, and your answer tells me a lot about how experienced this audience is. The first REIT is Medical Properties Trust, ticker MPW. This is probably the most searched and least honestly covered REIT in the entire market right now. And the reason is simple. This stock has had a genuinely painful few years. The share price collapsed from over $20 down to the low single digits. The dividend was cut significantly. Multiple major tenants ran into serious financial trouble. Short sellers published aggressive reports. The headlines were bad for a long time. And so most content creators stopped covering it. Or they covered it only to pile onto the negative narrative because that was what was getting clicks. But here is what those outdated guides are not telling you. Medical Properties Trust owns hospital real estate. Not retail, not office, not apartments, hospitals, the buildings where surgeries happen and emergency rooms operate. These facilities have one of the highest barriers to replacement of any real estate in existence. You cannot just build a new hospital next door. The regulatory hurdles and capital requirements are genuinely difficult to replicate. The tenant problems were real. Steward Healthcare, one of MPW's largest tenants, went through bankruptcy. That is not a small thing, but what the outdated content misses is what happened next. MPW has been working systematically through the tenant issues, selling properties and replacing operators. The portfolio is smaller than it was at the peak, but the remaining assets are higher quality and risk has been reduced. The dividend was cut from 29 cents to 8, but at the current price, the yield is still meaningful. More importantly, the reduced payout is far better covered by the actual cash flows being generated today. The current valuation prices in significant continued deterioration. The gap between price and asset value is interesting. That is not a promise. Hospital REITs are genuinely complex and operationally demanding. But it is a situation where the narrative has run ahead of the reality and searchers are waiting for answers. The second REIT is Uniti Group, ticker UNIT. Uniti Group owns fiber infrastructure, the physical cables and network assets that carry internet traffic. It sits at the intersection of real estate and telecommunications infrastructure, which is why coverage is so thin. Uniti went through a contentious relationship with its former anchor tenant Windstream, which went bankrupt. The content that covered it at the time is almost entirely what comes up when you search for it today. What those articles miss is that Uniti has been actively investing in fiber network expansion across the US. The fiber business has tailwinds from remote work, streaming, and the general increase in data consumption. The balance sheet carries significant leverage, which is the most important risk to understand before touching this name. This is a higher risk, higher potential reward situation, not a conservative income holding for stability. The current yield is elevated because the market is pricing in that risk, creating a gap in current honest analysis. The third REIT is Global Net Lease, ticker GNL. Global Net Lease owns a diversified portfolio of commercial net lease properties across the US and Europe. Net lease structures push operational costs onto the tenants rather than the landlord. The stock has been under pressure from office sector concerns and European macroeconomic uncertainty. The company merged with its manager to internalize management, a long-term positive for shareholders. The dividend was reduced and is now better covered by actual cash flows than the previous level was. The valuation reflects deep pessimism. If a modest recovery in sentiment occurs, the current price is overly conservative. The combination of international assets and internal management at a discount generates genuine investor curiosity. Here is what ties all three of these together: Medical Properties Trust, Uniti Group, and Global Net Lease. The bad news has been loudly publicized, and the forward-looking recovery picture has been largely ignored. Bad news generates clicks. Recovery stories require nuance, and nuance does not perform as well on a thumbnail. These are not automatic buys. Every single one carries real risk that needs to be understood clearly. MPW has operational complexity, unit carries leverage, and GNL has office and currency risks. Investors are looking for what is actually true right now, not what was true 2 years ago when headlines were worst. Now the question for you: which one are you most curious about, and what specific question do you have? Drop it in the comments. Hit subscribe so you do not miss the deep dives. Let us build something real.